Hello, and welcome to this tutorial for the Macro Recipe Organizer spreadsheet. My name is Tony, and I'm the creator behind TopSheets. I design spreadsheets for both Google Sheets and Excel, focused on helping with productivity, organization, school, business, lifestyle, and more. On my shop dashboard, you can see the range of templates I've created to make planning and tracking easier. In this video, we're focusing on the Macro Recipe Organizer template for Google Sheets. This template is perfect for anyone who wants to organize and store their favorite recipes while keeping track of macros, all in one simple, visual, and easy-to-use spreadsheet. I'll walk you through how to access the template, how to set it up step by step, and I'll share some tips and tricks for customizing it to your needs. The Macro Recipe Organizer is made up of 15 tabs in total. First, we have the Intro tab. Here, you'll find written instructions, tips and guidance to help you get started quickly, plus a link to reach out to me directly if you have any questions. Next is the Start tab. This is where you'll set up your template by customizing your recipe types and food categories to match your cooking style. Then we have the Ingredient Log tab. This is where you'll list all of your ingredients and record their macronutrient details. By entering this information once, the template will automatically populate calculations across your recipes, saving you time and making meal planning so much easier. Then comes the Recipe List tab. Here, you can list up to 100 meal ideas across 10 customizable recipe categories. This is also where you'll find links that take you straight to each recipe card. Next, you'll see the 10 recipe card tabs. These are the heart of the template, where you'll build all of your recipes. And then finally, you have the Recipe Finder tab. Use this tab to sort and filter your recipes by macronutrients and quickly find the perfect meal that fits your nutritional goals. First and foremost, I'm going to show you how to access your template. After purchasing the Macro Recipe Organizer from Etsy, you'll receive a PDF download that looks similar to this one. This PDF is included with your order and can be found on your Etsy account under Purchases and Reviews. You'll also get an email from Etsy with the download link. Just click to download and open the file on your computer or device. Inside the PDF, you'll find a direct link to the Google Sheets spreadsheet. Because it is a template link, you won't immediately be able to edit the file that you open. The first step is always to make your own personal copy. This ensures you can enter your own information without affecting the original template. Click the associated link in the PDF. This will open a preview of the template in your browser. From here, you'll either see a button that says Use Template, or if you're just viewing the sheet, go to the top menu and click File and make a copy. Once you make a copy, the template is fully yours to edit, and you can rename it or move it to any folder in your Google Drive. Important note for mobile users. If you're trying to open the Google Sheets version directly on a phone or tablet, sometimes it doesn't save properly to your drive right away. I recommend opening the link on a computer first, making your copy there, and then you'll be able to access it normally in the Google Sheets mobile app. So just remember, open the PDF from your Etsy purchase, click the link, and then make your own copy before entering any data. This ensures you'll always have access to a clean master copy, which I may update with new features or improvements, and a personal copy that you can use for your own recipe logging. Now that your copy is ready, let's look at how to use your Macro Recipe Organizer. Let's start with the Intro tab. Here, you'll find detailed written instructions on how to use your template. Since this video serves as your step-by-step guide, I won't go too deep into this tab right now. But if you ever need a quick reference, this is the place to check. At the very top, you'll also see a link to my Etsy store. That's the easiest way to reach me if you have any questions. Just click through and send me a message. Next up is the Start tab, which acts as your setup page. This is where you can customize your Macro Recipe Organizer. At the top, you'll see a language dropdown. Many of my templates are available in English, German, Spanish, and French, so you can pick the language that you prefer. Just note, the written instructions on the Intro tab and the tab names won't change here. To have those in another language, you need to purchase that specific language version of the template, which you can find in my Etsy store. Next is the version number. This shows you when your copy of the macro recipe organizer was last updated. Right under it is the new template link. If I've released an update, you can click that link to access the latest version. To check, simply compare the version number in your template with the one in the new template link. You'll also notice a checkbox called Highlight Editable Fields. When you check this, the cells that you can edit will turn green. This is really helpful if you're unsure about which parts you should change versus which ones are locked with formulas. If you ever try to edit a locked cell, Google Sheets will stop you, but the highlight tool makes it easy to know exactly where to focus. Now let's look at a couple more customization options on the Start tab. Under Recipe Type, enter the 10 categories that you want to use to organize your meals. For example, you can list things like breakfast, salad and soup, dinner, snack, beverage, etc. Next, you'll list up to 7 macronutrients that you want to track throughout the template. Beside each macronutrient, add a short abbreviation so it displays more clearly across your recipes and calculations. Then, under food categories, define up to 15 food groups, such as fruit, vegetable, or dairy. These will become drop-down options later on, helping you easily categorize each ingredient when you start building your recipes. A default list is included, but feel free to change or add to this list to fit your needs. Now let's take a look at the Ingredient Log tab. This tab is where you'll log all your ingredient information so that it can automatically populate your recipes later. To log an ingredient, start by entering the ingredient's name. Next, use the drop-down menu to select the appropriate food category for that ingredient. These show up as drop-down options based on the food categories you listed on the Start tab. Then, input the unit of measurement, like cup for milk or pound for ground beef. After that, add the nutrient information for 1 unit of that ingredient. The nutrient abbreviations will match the macros you listed on the Start tab. For example, if you're adding milk measured in cups, enter the number of calories, protein, carbs, and fats in 1 cup of milk. You also have space to include optional notes, like the brand or any extra details. A few tips as you fill out your ingredient log. Avoid repeating ingredient names. Duplicates will automatically turn red. The spreadsheet won't know which ingredient to pull macro details from when building recipes, so make sure similar ingredients are clearly identified. Also, ingredients with apostrophes won't be recognized, so rename items like Dave's with an apostrophe to Dave's without the apostrophe. Finally, make sure at least your first ingredient always has nutrient values entered to keep the template working properly. Now let's move on to the Recipe List tab. This tab acts as a dashboard where you can list and see all the recipes at a glance and access them quickly with clickable links to each recipe card. To use this tab, start by listing your meal ideas under each recipe type that you set up on the Start tab. Be sure to avoid repeating meal names. If you do, duplicates will automatically turn red to alert you when there's a conflict. If you want to use the same recipe for multiple meals, just slightly change the name. For example, breakfast tacos and dinner tacos. Then, to start building a recipe, simply click the link next to the meal name. It'll take you straight to the matching recipe card. This makes it easy to stay organized while keeping all your recipes accessible in one place. Now let's practice building a recipe. Let's use pasta salad as our example. This is what a blank recipe card looks like. As you can see, the meal name populates automatically based on your Recipe List tab inputs. The first thing to do is input the number of servings, prep time, and cook time for your recipe. For instance, you might set this one to 4 servings with 15 minutes of prep time and 8 minutes of cook time. The number of servings input is super important so that the sheet can calculate macro values. so be sure you have a number there. Next, list out your ingredients. The category and units will automatically populate based on what you input on the ingredient log tab. Then, enter your ingredient quantities. Be sure to use decimal format. So instead of typing 1/2, type 0.5. These will automatically reformat into fractions. This step is super important so that Google Sheets correctly recognizes your entries, since fractions can sometimes be misread as dates. Once you enter your quantities, you'll notice how the macronutrient amounts populate automatically for each ingredient. No need to do any of the math yourself. You can even view the total amounts of each macronutrient per serving at the bottom, making it easy to track nutrition for each of your recipes. Now, move to the notes section where you have space to write out the instructions and how to make your dish. You can also add an image of your meal right inside the sheet. To do this, click the area specified for the recipe image. Click Insert at the top, then Image, and then Insert Image in cell. Choose your image, and the picture will appear in the cell. Finally, if you'd like to link this recipe to a web page, you can simply copy and paste the recipe URL into this link field. And that's it. Your recipe card is now fully set up and connected. Finally, let's look at the Recipe Finder tab. This tab allows you to sort your recipes based on the nutrient values you care about most, either from highest to lowest or lowest to highest. Start by filtering by recipe type to choose which recipes you want to include in the sort. I'm going to take a look at my breakfast recipes. Next, select a sort by option to rank your recipes according to the nutrient you're interested in. I'm looking for a high protein breakfast idea, so that's what I'm going to select. The sheet automatically sorts my breakfast recipes from highest to lowest protein amount. Now I can simply use the recipe links to instantly jump to the recipe I want to view. This makes it simple to locate the recipes that meet your nutritional goals in just a few clicks. Now that we've covered all the tabs, let's dive into some tips and tricks to help you customize and get even more out of your macro recipe organizer. First, let's talk about changing the colors. If you want your template to match your style, it's easy to update the theme. Simply click the paint bucket icon in the toolbar, click the pencil icon next to Custom, and then modify the colors in the accent 1 through 6 slots. You can also adjust the text color and chart background color, which acts as an additional accent color on this template. Now, you may have noticed that your template only displays 4 of your listed macronutrients at the top of the ingredient log and throughout your recipe cards. This keeps the sheet clean and simple in case you don't want to track all 7 macros. If you want to view and manage more than 4 macros, you can unhide the remaining columns. To unhide them, click the small arrows located at the top of the hidden section. For the ingredient log tab, click the arrows between columns H and L. And then for the recipe card tabs, click the arrows between columns J and N. If a warning message appears, just click OK. Once revealed, all macro columns will be visible and editable, so you can enter or adjust nutrient values for each ingredient or recipe. If you want to hide any extra columns again, simply highlight the columns, right-click, and select Hide Columns. Now let's go over how to add more room for ingredients on a recipe card. By default, each recipe card gives you space for up to 15 ingredients. But if you need extra room, don't worry. There are 5 hidden rows built in for every recipe. In order to reveal them, navigate to the recipe where you want to add more ingredients. Then, look just below the last visible ingredient row. You'll see small arrows going along the left side by the row numbers. Click those arrows to expand the hidden rows. If a warning message pops up, simply click OK and you'll instantly have more space to keep adding ingredients. Now, if you'd like to rename your recipe tabs, you can easily do that too. By default, they're labeled something like breakfast recipes, lunch recipes, dinner recipes, and a bunch of extra recipe tabs. To customize the tab names, right-click the tab name at the bottom of your sheet, select Rename, and type in whatever name fits best based on the recipe types you listed on the Start tab. Here's a tip. Click on the recipe tab and look at the title at the top of the page. The template automatically titles your recipe tabs according to your Start tab inputs, so you can easily match the tab name to the recipe type for that section. And that's how you use your macro recipe organizer spreadsheet. It's designed to make organizing your recipes and tracking macros for all your favorite dishes simple, visual, and stress-free. If you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out to me through my Etsy shop. I'm always happy to help. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.